Hello and welcome to the Leckiju Lounge. This is your host Lex, and as my brother would always say, let's talk Bella. Welcome back, you guys. It's just me, but do not worry. I have a fun episode planned, a fun topic today. For the most part, we're going to be talking about fashion, everything fashion, because that is one of my favorite things in the world. It's one of my main interests, my hobbies, and my future plans, my career plans, and things like that all revolve around fashion. So that's what we're going to get into today. I'm coming off of a pretty easy week. It's spring break for a lot of people. So not for me. I'm not in school or a teacher consistently. So I don't really experience a spring break anymore, which I'm fine with. My brother was on spring break from teaching. And so we did hang out a little more because he had more time, but I was still working my regular jobs every other day, whatever I'm doing. It's very random schedule, but now, for the most part, it's back to normal, and it's fun. I've been playing badminton recently, which, I've played, my family kind of has a history of playing badminton. We started in COVID time, so 2020, and we weren't very good at it, and we also only had 4 badminton rackets at the time, and then 2 of us played with tennis rackets because there were 6 in my family, and I was one of those with a tennis racket. But then we kind of got better somewhat, but it's funny because we play outdoors, and it's typically an indoor sport. Because of the wind, it affects the birdie so much, and I think it's really meant for indoors. But my brother and I still to this day play outside just because the weather's really great right now. It's a little too windy certain days, but badminton was really so much fun. I think it's more fun than pickleball. I think it's more fun than tennis. I think it's elite, but yeah, we have so much fun. And let's see, so yes, fashion. We're going to talk about my favorite designers. We're going to talk about my earliest experiences of fashion and my career plans. But I did want to talk about this shirt, because since I was going to be talking about fashion today, I thought I really have to do my big one here. I really have to pull out the Gautier. This is one of my only luxury brand products or clothing or anything. This is the most expensive clothing I've ever purchased for myself. So and it was actually for a Halloween costume. How funny is that? My last Halloween costume, I cosplayed Songhwa. This was one of a shirt he wore in the concert I saw, and they did edit this out because it said it says safe sex forever, and they somehow edited his and it only says forever on it. I don't really know how they did that, but maybe it was custom. But this is a Gautier shirt. I think it's so cool. It has it's tattoos. It has the shading, so the bodies no matter what. And actually I did get this a little bit cheaper. I got it from this app system called Net-a-Porter, and this is unsponsored, but hey, Net-a-Porter, sponsor me please. This is a service that in an app that you can shop on and get you can find all kinds of designer brands on there, luxury brands, and get the things very fast, get them cheaper, and there's really so many things to shop there. I think they even sell luxury perfumes and colognes, I want to say, but they definitely have all accessories. They have men's, women's, they have bags, they have shoes, so it's super cool. Check out the price differences. The price drops are really insane. So I still have an account with them, and I'm definitely looking to purchase with them in the future. So yeah, check out Net-a-Porter, unsponsored, but hey, you guys, this was also so cute. They make it a luxury experience as well. So for my first luxury brand purchase, it was super easy, super quick, and because it was a last minute purchase for my costume, but then it got here the day of Halloween, wore it the night, ate it up. And they even give you a little letter, and it says thank you for purchasing, and it just makes you feel special. I love that. It's so fun and so fierce. So a moment for the body. Looking back, the first like memories of fashion were probably through like, I mean, toys probably, and like Barbies. And my family, my parents actually collect Barbies, or they used to. They don't still do it, but they used to actually collect Barbies, and their room theme was Barbies. Like, they had them on display, and these were like collector's Barbies. They were nice. And I remember my favorite Barbies being the Bob Mackie dolls. And I mean, Bob Mackie is just like, everything's so extravagant, it's so glamorous, and I really responded well to that as a child. And I just remember loving those dolls. And especially, oh my gosh, the jewel tone Barbies were like my favorite thing. If you know, you know. And I think that's a very niche like set of people that would know what that is. But those were like brain altering for me as a child. I thought about them a little bit way too much. It was just a set of 5 Bob Mackie dolls who were each their own like crystal. So like one was diamond, one was the emerald, one was the ruby, the sapphire, and the amethyst. And they're just so beautiful. Like, look it up. It's so, and it's funny just to think about how much I was thinking about that as a child. Another super early memory of like fashion for me was through like Halloween costumes, since my dad has always made my family's Halloween costumes, because he's a seamstress, and not like professionally, but he's always made our Halloween costumes. And he would basically let us choose whatever, and we could like go to the store and choose fabrics, and just like he just bring the vision to life, which is so cool. Like, I feel grateful we had that. And in more recent years, like as I've gotten older, and we still do like Halloween pretty hardcore, and I would choose costumes because I think he likes making the costumes. Like, it's part of it, part of Halloween for him. And even though it's like sometimes really difficult, but I chose things that were more like high fashion costumes, because I wanted, like, I don't know, I like Halloween costumes, but I like it to also feel like kind of couture, kind of fashion, but is it fashion? And he did make a really good job. I think like 2 years ago I was Poison Ivy, but I wanted to do like a male version of Poison Ivy, but more like an androgynous Poison Ivy, so it's like somewhere in between, which is basically always what I'm going to choose. And it was like he made like it was like a full jumpsuit, like pants, and it was like tank top on the top, like all jumpsuit, one piece, and it had a hood, and it was like a cowl neck. It was so fierce. It was so fierce. Maybe one of my favorite, and also just a great Halloween that year. That was 2023. This last Halloween, I wore this, and he made me a jacket and pants to go with this, leather pants. It was super crazy. I'll insert some photos here. If you know ATs, if you know Songwha, that was the vision. So it was truly brought to life. So yeah, he's super talented, and that was like early-ish. Like, even when I was a kid, I remember I was a vampire, but my dad was going to make the costume, and he asked me like what fabrics I wanted, what colors I wanted, because typical vampires like black and white, sometimes red, but I wanted the black and white suit, but I wanted my vest to have like purple, because I'm just that extra. I'm just that little, extra kid. And he did make like a black lace over purple vest, and it was super fierce. Like, and that just made it so much more me. So I'm really glad that he's able to do that and was like, let us bring those visions to life. Because it's really, I mean, me, if I go off to be like a fashion designer someday, which is what I want, like, I'm definitely going to remember those experiences and those times with my dad making those costumes, with my whole family. My mom is super crafty too. She's helped with so many costumes as well. So like, that's something I'm going to remember, and something I'm going to cherish, I think, in my far future career. The first time I think I knew I wanted to be a fashion designer, I mean, there's probably like a few different times, but I want to say this was back in 2020. I started drawing fashion for the first time. I mean, for the first time seriously. Which, what, in 2020, that would have put me at like 15. I think I had just turned 15. And I was like starting my first design sketches, like officially. And I haven't done it in a while. Like I really, really need to get back into it. But I fell in love with that. I was like, you know what? I can like create some really cool ideas, at least for like to hold, save until the future. Just like so that you have something ready to go, or just like, I don't know, it's fun. It's like also a hobby at the end of the day if it doesn't go professional. But I'm not really that great at drawing, so I wish I was a little bit better, or I wish I could do it like digitally or figure out a better way to do it to execute my ideas. But I do have the ideas. It's just hard to create them on paper. So I'm looking to better my drawing skills or get digital design. But yeah, I have been doing that for I guess a couple years, and it's really just fun for me. I pull inspiration from all over the place. Like if you look through my sketchbooks, there's not really like a theme. It's so random. My thoughts are all over the place. Sometimes I'm feeling like this is going to be like a very sexual concept, this one, and then I'm like, this one's going to be super cutesy. Like this is like very camp 60s vibe. Like I don't know. It's really all over the place, but I think in most brands and in fashion, there's a space for everything. There's literally a space for everything. And some of those things you're never going to use. Some of those are just for fun. Some of those might be used for inspiration for something totally different, or like a totally different project. But I think the designer that like I pull the most inspiration from is Bob Mackie, like I was saying earlier. Just because, like, since I was a child, like, I really like extravagant things. And the things that I tend to create aren't very, like, streetwear. I have ideas for streetwear, but not, like, actual sketches for streetwear. I really come up with sketches for, like, red carpety type things and, like, events and performance looks and outfits. And I think, like, Bob Mackie's stuff is so extravagant and glamorous that's just the type of stuff that I like the most. And I do like red carpet type things, or like editorial photo shoot designs. I guess that's what I would design for. Or at least that's where I think it fits in. I know like some of my earliest sketches look like something straight from Bob Mackie, but like a lot of feathers, a lot of gowns, like a lot of drama in the outfits. And his stuff is just so cool. And it's like the inner child. Like I needed to get those sketches and designs out. But then I also have some things that are like more unique. And I would say along with Bob Mackie, my other favorite designers are Chung Thon Fong. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Chung Thon Fong is, I believe he's Vietnamese. He's either Vietnamese or Thai, but he is a designer who does also very extravagant things. It's kind of similar to Bob Mackie, but more modern, I guess. When I think of his things, I think of like they're so sparkly. Like it just looks like so many Swarovskis on gowns, on like bodices, and like corsets. It's all very romantic and dreamy. I think it's like got a dreamy feel to it. I don't know, the budget looks insane, but it's a lot of silvers, a lot of golds, so like metallics, but also glitters, silver and golds. It just looks like really expensive and very dreamlike. And that stuff is like, it scratches my brain in the right way. So, okay, so him, my top three I think are him, Bob Mackie, and Hayden Williams, which he's more of an illustrator than he is a designer, but I still think of him as a designer because he does have original ideas. A lot of his work is inspired though by other things, but he makes it in his own way. My Pinterest is like full of Hayden Williams, like from back years and years back, because he did like everything he'll do is like say Disney characters, but then make it like couture. or he'll do a line of like horror movie villains and make it couture. And it's just like, those are like the kind of ideas that I'd have, and I could never find someone who did like had those same ideas. So it's so cool that he does that, because that's like what I need and what I needed to see. And he still comes up with some great stuff. And I actually have seen like some of his looks he created get made, because he does sketches, but then I've seen them get made into real costumes and used. Like, I think Gwen Stefani years back did a Christmas show and like used one of his designs, and he's definitely used a few designs. I would love to get like something designed by him, because I love his brain, just the way the things he come up with are so cool. I was actually asked by an agency the other day. I was meeting with one of my dream agencies. I hope it works out, and I'll keep you posted if it does work out. But I was meeting like for a casting with one of my dream agencies, and I was speaking with someone on their team, and she's worked in fashion for years and years, and she asked me like my favorite designer, and I was telling her about my favorites, and then we also talked like fashion houses, and it's kind of like, I was looking up to see if this was even a fashion house, but I think of it as one. My favorite fashion house, or like luxury brand, I guess, is Mugler, and I love Gautier, but like Mugler is just they just seem to come up with more unique things, more things that speak to me. It's like they have a lot of dark concepts. They have a lot of edge to them. It's like glamour, but it's edgy, and I love that. I love that. Mugler is my fave. I think I'd consider it a fashion house. So it's definitely up there with. It's definitely my favorite, I think, as of right now. And also like their campaigns are also so amazing to me. Like, they speak to me. I want to model Mugler so bad. I think like that would be my first choice of any fashion brand to model for. I think Mugler is the way to go. I truly think Mugler is the way to go. So speaking about modeling, that's like one of my other dreams since I was a kid, and it goes hand in hand with fashion, obviously. When I was younger, I didn't even exactly know, what modeling is when you're a kid, because you see people on campaigns, you see people modeling clothes everywhere. And so you know what it is, but, and I knew I wanted to do that at some point, I guess. Like, when I was a kid, I just wanted to like perform, entertain in any way. And I think modeling is performing. It's like runways, performance, and dancing and singing, and really anything like that is something I wanted to be a part of. But as I got older, I just like, even if I like could say it out loud or not, or like think it, I just like, there's somewhere in the back where I just like knew I wanted to model, because and like I knew I had to. And I feel that way now. And I feel so blessed that I am like 6'2", like I'm a good height for modeling, and I have the look for modeling. And it's like, not everybody has that, and it's like, it's so cool to like want to do that and to be like built for that, for like high fashion modeling. I mean, there's so many types of models, right? But like high fashion, I want to do it all, but high fashion is what I want to do more than anything in runway. And I feel so blessed that that's like what I feel built for, and it's what I want to do. And like that just makes me think like that's so what I need to do. I need to do it. So that's great. And then also like in turn after that, like I want a full career of modeling. I want to try everything, do everything, try all the markets. And then after that, I think on the other side, I want to become a fashion designer. And I also want to like carry on some of that time. I think it would be so cool to be able to still model, or people know you as a model, and you're still able to model your own clothes and your own brand. I think that's awesome. I think like that is so me. That is so me. And I mean, as far as like the brand I want to develop and the company and like things like that, I really don't know. I think I want it to be accessible, but somewhat luxury, or somewhat like exclusive, I guess. I think like online store is obviously easier to, create. And I think it might would have to start as like an online brand, but then I would also like to like open up a store, like a store or like two locations or something like that, just to make it like a little bit exclusive. But I mean, it would be awesome to have it like carried in stores like Nordstrom or things like that. But I just think it's cool. The exclusivity of small brands is cool. Obviously, like if my brand were to like blow up to fashion house level, that is amazing. That you can't give that up. That would be so amazing. But there's also something really cool and beautiful about like a smaller, exclusive, more like Nugu brand, if you will. So I think, and I kind of picture that for myself, but also it's like, who knows? It could literally go anywhere. But hey, shop my brand in the future if I ever come out with one. You have to be the first to shop. I would have loved to start modeling a lot earlier. And when I was a kid, like I did submit, I like remember begging my mom one time, like to submit me to Wilhelmina, like back then. And I was a kid, like I submitted to kids, but then I waited till I was 18. And then I submitted to like so many. It was crazy. I submitted to so many, and it took longer than I thought it would to like get picked up. I did actually get picked up about a year ago now by an agency I'm no longer with, because after a few months they dropped me and said there wasn't enough interest. And that's hard to hear, but it's also like, I don't know, like it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't the great fit, I guess, because like this is something I know I'm meant for. This is something I know I'm made for and that I'm going to do. And if someone doesn't necessarily think I'm right for it, like that doesn't change my thought process. That just makes me know like this was not a great fit and I'm gonna move on somewhere else. And that agency did ghost me. They didn't give me advice or anything like that, which is okay. I know that it's a busy industry, but I just decided like literally that same day they dropped me, I started submitting to other agencies that I had either previously submitted to or new ones. And it's hard, but because some of those things you're submitting your photos, your measurements to all these agencies, all these places, and oftentimes those might never get seen. So you can't say that your stuff was like overlooked, or you can't say that, oh, like they hate me, or like they're not interested in me, or like no one wants me. Your stuff may have never gotten seen. They're so busy. I will say for me, I prefer to do an in-person casting, okay? Because I think, and this is like kind of bad as a model, but I feel like I'm better in person. Rather than like digitals or photos like that. I think because you get to show a little bit more personality and they get to see you move, and like I'm a dancer, so like moving is kind of my thing. So I think for me personally, it's better to see me in person, because like when I submitted to that agency, I submitted photos and they didn't say anything, but when I went in person, they signed me the day of. And I've met with a few other people, and it just goes better in person. Like it goes better in person because this agency I actually got signed in Canada, so that's what I'm currently with, and I love my agent. He's super great, so it's definitely an improvement. And I signed with him in January, so then he's actually working on like placing me, and I got to meet with my one of my first dream agencies that I have been wanting to be signed with since I turned 18, seriously. And I submitted to them back when I turned 18. And, those submissions, I don't know if they were ever seen. I've submitted to them several times. And you don't know if they've ever been seen. And they don't do open calls. So this is like, I had to get this appointment through my agent. And I met with them, and it was great. I loved the agents. I mean, they were all so sweet and so cool. So sometimes you just have to wait for your time to get in. And then once you're in, it's just like the word gets out, the word gets around, and you just really have to wait for your moment. You really have to get in. Be patient. Work on yourself. You don't want to necessarily take the first option. I know it's like a very desperate situation, but you have to like, it might not be the best fit. And sometimes you're going to have to find that out for yourself, like I did, because that was like the first yes, and I did take it, and it was great. I wouldn't change it. I met a lot of great photographers and got to work with great photographers. I didn't get any actual work, but a lot of that was experience, and that was worth it. And I learned a lot from it. I got to meet Blake Ballard. I got to meet Dorian, and those were photographers I was really wanting to work with. And sometimes you can only get that through an agency. So I'm not like regretful of it. It was just hard. I remember I was working that day that they dropped me, and I just like cried and cried because it's something that you want so bad. It's something I've wanted for so long that when you get it, it feels great. And then when I was like, damn, this is something I wanted so bad, and now it's gone. And it was really just like that day, gone, no more communication, you're cut off, and no advice. So it's hard. It's hard. I'm here to tell you it's hard if you're an aspiring model or someone who wants to. It's definitely hard, but it's going to be worth it. And those people one day are going to be like, they're going to feel sorry that they didn't keep you along, because like something about me, I know that they don't know me so personally, but something about me is like, I don't give up, and I know that I'm meant to do so much in that industry. It's going to be major. It's going to be so major. So they are going to be, in fact, sorry one day. And I'll be celebrating. So party. We have now reached our segment called the Lekkiju's Cues. So this is the segment where I answer some questions or give advice for any questions or advice submitted on my Instagram stories. I post on my main account and my other Kpop account. So, you can submit. I do it different times of the week. Okay. I try to get a new group of people, a new audience, new questions. And, you can submit anything. I'll literally answer any of your questions. I'll talk about anything you need advice on. So hit me with them. All right. The first question we have is top 5 drag queens. So I read this ahead of time, and I prepared my list. However, I kind of have a top 6. This is really hard, okay? And not specifically in this order, but kind of in this order. So at number 5, Detox. Number 4, Brooklyn Heights. Number 3, Violet Chachki. Number 2, Trixie Mattel. Number 1, Plastique Tiara. Okay, because the first one I wrote was Plastique. Plastique's just my fave. Like in drag, beautiful. Out of drag, beautiful, handsome, attractive man. And Plastique just does drag in my favorite way. Like there's a lot of skin to it, but it's not like trashy. It's still like so glamorous and beautiful, and that's like what I love. And Trixie is like a fight for my number 1, because Trixie, what would the drag world be without Trixie? But what would the drag world be without Plastique? Like, I don't know. I think Plastique's more my taste, my favorite. Trixie is like my favorite for the whole drag as a whole. Like, and Trixie's done so much for the space, and personality wise, like I love Trixie's YouTube channel so much. She's so funny. She's so slay. And then Violet Chachki, number 3. Well, Violet just makes drag so much better. That style, it's so much more than drag. That is fashion. Now that's fashion. Violet Chachki does it on another level. Even out of drag, the fashion is crazy, and I love it. I live. Brooklyn Heights at number 4. Brooklyn is just like she's like the ace. She's such an amazing performer. So beautiful, so sexy, and like so classy too. I love it. Detox, love Detox. Especially back on like in the Drag Race era, like on her season. I loved Detox. And that's like a personality one. She is so funny and so real. And then I also wrote Kimchi. I think Kimchi didn't quite make the top 5, but is very close. I love Kimchi, what she's also done as like a brand, Kimchi Chic Beauty, and like done for drag. It's just like has one of my favorite mugs in all of drag. Like one of my favorites. And she's also just like so cool. Like she's so sweet but shady, and I love it. Okay, next question is K-pop song recommendations. So I actually posted a video recently asking for recommendations because I'm trying to get new sounds, new songs in my playlist, new groups. But the songs that I recommend to people, obviously what I'm first going to recommend is 80s. And the 80s songs that I recommend for new listeners who might be new to K-pop on like a whole level, I would recommend title tracks like Bouncy, super catchy and good. Work is also catchy and good, but I prefer B-sides, so it's kind of hard. I think recommending title tracks is often better because they can get a visual if they want to watch a music video. And if I'm recommending any 80s title tracks, I think my top are going to be Crazy Form and Halazia, because Crazy Form it's just like a fun beat. It's a dance beat. The dance choreography is amazing. So if they happen to stumble across the choreography, they're going to be sucked in to the group. And if they see Halazia, the reason I like it is because it doesn't really sound like K-pop or like classic K-pop. It's got like a dark, kind of like dreamlike or medieval, or like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a different world type of sound to it. It's not super, it is catchy though, like la la la, like it's catchy, right? But it's not like trendy sounding. That's what I love. And I think other than that, if I'm recommending like other K-pop songs, if we're going into girl groups, if they say they like girl groups or female singers more, I'm gonna recommend songs like Twice by Twice. Like I'm gonna recommend I Can't Stop Me, Fancy, The Feels, because those were some of my earliest like K-pop songs that got me into it. And Twice is so good for a lot of people. I mean, some people might find it cheesy, but like a lot of people will love it. And if they do find that cheesy, I would lean towards aespa, because I personally love them and I think their title tracks are just like addictive. Like Whiplash is so addictive, but maybe that's just me. And Drama is like my favorite K-pop music video and song ever, so I would definitely recommend that. Supernova, Armageddon, things like that. And I think that's it actually, because I mean, for girl groups, yeah, my first choices are going to be Twice or aespa. And for boy groups, I'm going to mostly recommend 80s, but if they want a different sound, I would recommend something like Stray Kids, because so many people love Stray Kids. Come on. And if they like rap and like louder music, which 80s is loud, but Stray Kids just gives me like that booming rap type of loud sound. And I would recommend songs like, I'm trying to think, what got me into them would be like Maniac, Thunderous, Domino, Charmer. Oh my gosh, talk about Charmer. That is actually all I have planned for you today. I hope you enjoyed this fashion packed episode. We talked about modeling, we talked about fashion, we talked about my career goals and plans, and we talked about my childhood a little bit. We also talked about drag queens and K-pop, which is basically all those things combined is me and my personality on a regular basis. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Leckiju on Instagram or at leckiju.kpop. We have 2. And then if you want to see my TikTok and see what I'm posting on there, you can see that at Leckiju212. It's all going to be linked in the link tree, but I'm just telling you anyways. Do not forget to comment on this video. Comment your favorite designers. Comment your first impressions of fashion and if you love it too. And then do not forget to like and subscribe. You can actually turn on the post notifications so that every time I upload a video, you'll be notified. I hope I'll see you next time, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Anyways, bye. Love you. Stay fierce. Stay fashion.